Hey, welcome back to the channel. Got a little something on the bench for you here. So this is my HDzero goggles. The HDzero goggles I have, they do have the lens flopping issue or the lens optic moving issue. So basically, if you're flying like I do, your head is all over the place. When you tilt your head down and up, the focus goes in and out. It kind of makes me feel a little sick. Been doing my best to kind of keep my head still, but it's time to go ahead and get these fixed. They have sent me the replacement optics in this box here. So we're going to go ahead and pull these apart and get that taken care of, and hopefully we'll be good to go. So stay tuned. Alright, we got them out of my case. Now we have to take this strap off of here, and unfortunately, if I remember when I put it on originally, I tried to take it off again. You can't get this side of the strap off with the analog module in the way. The snap won't slide up through there. I mean, it's locked in. So you have to take your analog module off to be able to do that. So quite a little annoyance. You know, it's little things like that that kind of get to me. But basically, we'll go ahead and pull the analog module out of here. All right. And then it's pretty important to put a piece of acetate or insulate your module from especially that screw right there. And then here's the pins, they're wide open. So you need to have some sort of insulating barrier in there, or you're going to short some stuff out. And we'll just go ahead and pull the analog module off of here. Kind of has to snap end pins. So these two little keepers here is what holds it on, and then these pins, you just don't want to bend them all up. Get that stuff out of the way. And now we can get our strap off of there. Isn't that something? I don't know. Just one of them deals. So anyway, now we need to take our bezel off of here. Basically, there's a little retaining clip. We just need to kind of pry. Pry is definitely tight on there. So I notice if I pull up on this bottom corner, it's going to pop loose a little bit for me. I'm kind of pushing on this side. So I kind of got my fingers on there. I'm shoving on that as I'm prying back here. So now you can see that I've got a kind of a little bit of a gap there now. Kind of see that. And up here it's kind of tight. And I'm just going to pull up in the center there. They do not want that thing falling off, do they? So I'm just kind of pried up on it just a little bit, and I'm just going to push down on that side and push down on that side, and it just pulls out. That was not easy, but you can see here that there's a clip. So you can kind of see there that there's a little tab. It's probably I'd say maybe a millimeter plastic tab right there. There's another one right here in the center. There's another one right here. There's one right here underneath. See that? There's another one right there. It's right across from the AV, kind of in between, or straight shot back from the SD card. I'll go ahead and take that out now. This one here is kind of straight off from the microphone. You say like SMA on both sides, and then one in the center. I imagine if you pull straight back on it, they're just going to snap off, or you're going to damage the female part on the bezel. So kind of wanting to kind of pry down on the bottom and out, and then pry up on it a little bit. All right, got a block of foam here. I like using foam because I use wood and the foam doesn't slide around too easy. So I have a number 1 Phillips screwdriver. So we're gonna go ahead I don't think they put any type of Loctite or anything on these screws, but they don't come easy. So if you have a kind of an old Phillips screwdriver, you're probably going to strip them out pretty easy. So I like using this little flat blade I have. It's perfect size for that groove in there. Anyway, so we're just going to look at this side here, kind of pry that open a little bit. Looks like we just have the 3 screws there. Pry this side open just a little bit. Take our pick here, slide that along the edge. Got kind of thicker and thinner sides on my pick, so I'm going to use a thinner side here. There's one. Two. I get that middle one there. It's kind of a pain. Just gonna slide it in there. So I'm just pulling this straight up because there's things that are in the goggle, like this metal bracket for your head strap. There's a couple other components like the SMA boards that kind of make you want to kind of force you into sliding it up. Once you get it up to a certain level, then you can pull them open. Looks like the ribbon cables are not that long. All right, so there's the inside of the goggle. Quite something to get these little nubs. I'll get a close-up once I separate this. I'll get a close-up of that. So now we're going to use kind of a micro screwdriver, Phillips. There's a couple screws to take out of the ribbon cables. All right, so now they're loose. Go in here and grab our screws. Don't want that falling down in there and then have to go fishing for it. All right, so that's one retaining bracket. All right, and then we'll go ahead and pry that up a little bit. Grab these little nub right here. We're just gonna pull this up in the center. All right, pull this one up here in the center. Give it a little nudge. All right, and now we're separated completely. So this is the side we're going to work on next. But I wanted to show you these. Let me zoom in on them for you. So you can kind of see that little nub right there is what's holding the case together. And there's 3 of them. One over there, one there in the middle, and then another one here. So if you were to be looking, let me see. I guess if you're looking at it in this orientation, the nub is obviously in the center. It's pretty easy to identify that one. This one is directly, basically across from the maximum limit on the IPD. Same with this one. So straight across from the maximum limit right here of the IPD is the retaining clip. Let's see if I can look at that for you. All right, the next thing I'm going to want to do is focal point. I'm going to adjust them all the way in to the most narrowest position, and then I'm going to rotate the focal point to the maxed out. So both of them clockwise. If I have the ribbon cables facing up, then all the way clockwise maxed out. So I know kind of where they're set at. And then we'll go ahead and remove the retaining screw. Definitely not with that one. Number 1 Phillips. Alright, so that center screw came out. Still adjusted all the way in here. We'll go ahead and pull the old optic chamber out. Slide him up and out of the way. Don't want to break that, because they kept telling you, like, oh, if you do this yourself, then if you break that, then you're stuck having to buy a new one, or you're responsible for it. So go ahead and grab the little package out of the box they sent here. The cool thing is they give an RMA to send the other one back. So let's see what the new optics look like. Okay. So we have a little foam caddy for that, a little coffin. Some more bubble wrap. Plastic bag. That's it, huh? Take them dudes out of there. Kind of push them all the way in. And then with the ribbon cable in that orientation. So we have them tilted up. Alright, so that one's maxed out clockwise. I'm assuming this is the way to do it. Maxed out clockwise. Let's set that down into the caddy here. Now obviously there's some alignment that needs to be done here. So we can just turn that there. You just seen it seat. I don't know if you've seen that or felt it. Now I'm going to hold on to that so it doesn't pop back out, because we don't have anything really retaining it. I'm just going to bring my IPD back over. You can see it just kind of falling there. Bring my IPD back over. Our clockwise measurement, which is maxed out right there. Oh, that's it. I can feel that one didn't click. I didn't get a positive notation that seated. Oh, it didn't. I can look down in there. So you can look down in there and see that it didn't seat properly. There. So now I'm maxed out. Yep. So I'm maxed out. I'm maxed out. You can. Let me see if I can zoom in here for you. I don't know if you can see, but that plastic, that black plastic is the optic, and then the grayish black plastic is the is this. So these two do marry up, so you can actually see in there when they marry up. So that's kind of neat that you're able to see in there. Then of course you turn that so you can kind of see that it's functioning. Right there is maxed out. So that's how your focal adjustment will work. Then of course you slide them in and out, which I can't do holding on to them. So both sides are clipped in. And we'll go ahead and get this screw put back in here. Looks like this one right here. The head on that screw just doesn't have any bite for the Phillips that I'm trying to use. So I'm gonna go back to my tiny little, I've got this flat blade screwdriver. You can put quite a bit of torque on it, and the blade of it's kind of sharp, so it digs into that screw a little better. All right, so the optics are now seated, so I can go ahead and play with them all I want. So let me go ahead and make sure that they're free to move. I don't feel anything restricting that. Same with this side. It feels pretty smooth. Just going to check back in there. Make sure that this is moving correctly. It is. So I am now counterclockwise. I should max out that way, and I do. Clockwise, max out that way. Counterclockwise. All right. I don't feel anything restricting that, so looks like we're done with that end of it. So go ahead and put this back up here. There's really nothing else that I want to do in here. I thought about putting a little battery in there so that I can have a timestamp on my DVR for date and time and all that, but I don't know, really don't care. So now I'm going to grab some nylon tweezers. I don't want to use metal ones to reseat these because I don't want to, basically I don't want to scratch them. I think actually what I'm going to do is put this here, this here. It's kind of hard to film this part. Trying to reseat these without bending the pins over. Let's see actually if I get my fingers in there. Kind of want to say that's like probably the hardest thing was to put that stupid thing back in there. Have our 2 screws. Gotta drop them. Gingerly set those in place. Alright, so we have that one tightened down. Kind of important at this point not to flop or drop the optics, as this thing wants to wallet around a little bit. Let me get this up here so I can maintain that. Go ahead and get this one popped in place here. Gotta find the center point. That's probably the most I don't know, I guess delicate thing with the fix here, is getting that put in there correctly. They're too big. Too big to go in there. So I'm gonna try to put that screw in the little retainer. Just kind of set the whole thing in there at once. Yeah, I think that'd be a real something if you had like shaky hands or something. That there's not really a barrel for that screw to set in to put it in. It's kind of riding right at the top of those threads. That's pretty easy to come out of there. All right, so I got both retaining brackets in, so the optics should be done. We're just going to turn these and get the foam out of the way and focus for you. Go ahead and try to get these to line up nice and smooth. I'm just kind of giving them not really pushing on them too much. Just kind of give them a little. So just a little nudge here and there, making sure that ribbon folds up in there properly. Pop them back together. Everything's together. Go ahead and drop our screws in. And then obviously when you feel the screw stop moving, so it's bottomed out, just make sure all 3 of them are tight now. Okay. All right, so that's it. We'll peel our protective coating off of there. I do see I can kind of see a little iridescence of the focal point working. So when you're, obviously I'm going to have to put these on to make sure and power them up. So let's go ahead and finish putting these together. So that's pretty much it for the optics. The old ones are out. We can, if you go to my shorts, I have a video where you can see inside there and you can see them flopping around. So check that out if you're interested. Go ahead and put our faceplate back on the same way we took it off. Go ahead and put the top center in here. Need to kind of line it up so that's all the way into the goggle there, and we'll just pop that top on there. Push. I'm kind of pushing up at an angle to kind of pop it up over that. I know if you don't get it on there all the way, the light leak is pretty bad. So you'll kind of know the first time you fly it out in the sunshine. Feel that light leaking in. Wow, that is an absolute pain to get that up over there. It's kind of got like a little slot right there. There, that one finally went in there. I don't know, ain't for the faint of heart, that's for sure. So nothing's broke. There's no wiggling. Everything seems to be pretty stout. Obviously, I could put my analog module back on. I could put my strap back on. Got my trusty 2S LiPo. I can see the HDzero inside. All right, so we're all good there. You can see in there or not. Go ahead and do the focal chart here. Just gonna see in there for the focal chart, and we'll check to see if they're rocking. Oh man, that's going to be so much better not having them flopping back and forth. It really does when you're flying and you're looking and you're kind of up and down, and then it, you know, it goes in and out of focus. It's really annoying. So yep, good to go now. So get my glasses back on so I can see. So hopefully that helped you out. You know, if you're intimidated and doing something like that, you could see how much I manhandled them, and they're just fine. So, yeah, if that helped you out, you know, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. You hated it, you give it a thumbs down. It all works. Enjoy the breeze.